letting you guys know.
Yeah, I
Make
think
sure
we're
you
going
tell
out
me.
Sunday night for steak.
Do you know where you're going to?
I think they usually go to BOA or BOA or whatever it's called.
In Santa Monica.
I've been
Right?
there. No, I don't know if no. I think is it. I thought that was Beverly Hills.
There's
I don't
two.
know. I
There's
haven't been there
one
in a while.
right next to the promenade in Santa Monica, and then there's one in Beverly Hills.
Yeah, I think it's the one in Beverly Hills that we're going to.
Yeah, that's like the more like the LA hotspot. Like you see like some younger celebrities, and then the BOA in Santa Monica is just like just rich LA folk that just hang out and drink.
I'm gonna meet up with Castro and check out his place.
Where does he live?
He lives in downtown LA, I think.
Yeah, man, that'll be good.
Got
I'll have to see what I'm doing this weekend.
got some restaurant hookah bar that he's been working on. He said he was gonna go over there.
Whatever ended up happening with that Justin thing.
I never talked to him.
Uh,
He never got back to me.
oh, he didn't get back to you? If you want, I can reach out to him.
No, it's all right, man. I think I put a hold on that for right now.
All right.
I really like XLY down here. Consumer discretionary sector. Biggest holdings are Amazon and Tesla. Then they have a bunch of retail and travel. Thinking about either taking leaps or just dollar cost averaging a bunch of shares. I like the earnings that came out on Nordstrom pushing up the retail sector.
Yeah, man. I mean, look, we just exited a year where people were saving up the money instead of going out and blowing it. I think people are eager to go blow some money.
The mass thing is like that was like the nail in the coffin for me. I think I need to start investing in these retailers and travel and stuff.
Wait, the what thing? The mass?
The mask thing, where the CDC said that vaccinated people don't have to wear masks anymore. I think that's going to lead to a big push out into shopping.
Yeah, man. That for sure, 100%. People don't want to go outside if they're worried or whatever. And wear masks but yeah, I think like people have saved up a lot of money, and they haven't bought new clothes because they haven't been going out. And now that they're gonna start going out and partying and going out to dinners and shit, they're gonna want new clothing.
Yep.
I was at Nordstrom's yesterday shopping, and the fucking place is. Every time I go there, place is packed.
They slammed earnings. They're pumping on it. And the other retailers are pumping on them as well.
To be honest, I'm looking forward to wearing my old clothes because I've been wearing the same fucking sweatpants for a fucking year.
I'll be back, guys. It's my lunchtime.
Gotcha.
I was walking my dog yesterday, and there was this couple going into a restaurant out by my house, and they didn't have masks on, and the restaurant turned them away, and they were like, "Oh, didn't you hear the news today?" I was like, some ladies were petting my dog, so I was standing there listening, and they ended up getting into like a big argument, and they're screaming at each other and stuff, and then they ended up leaving.
The owner was yelling at them.
No, they were yelling at the owner. They're like, "Didn't you see the fucking
yeah.
news? You don't have to wear a mask, this, that." Dude, I was at Walgreens earlier picking up some allergy medication. I swear to God, I sat in the line at the pharmacy for like a half hour because there were so many people in there trying to get a vaccine.
Wild.
I just want to pick up some allergy medicine. Can I just grab that and just check out real quick? It'll take 30 seconds.
That's interesting. Did Illinois not have a good distribution strategy?
No, they do.
It's probably because of the announcement.
Yeah, we had started with mega sites like old Sears and like end stores on malls, and that's where everyone was getting vaccinated. And then Walgreens and CVS started to do it.
Yeah, that's the same with out here.
Yeah, but none of them here are packed. I don't know. Whatever. That's crazy.
Yeah, there was probably about 10 people waiting.
Yeah, I like XRT too. It's the retail ETF. The reason I don't like XLY is their biggest holdings are Amazon and Tesla, which is fucking irritating because the rest of their holdings are really good. I mean, Amazon and Tesla both also look pretty good for a dip buy. Tesla could double bottom here. Amazon, I don't even know why it's going down. Their past two earnings were fucking incredible. Hey, Chad. SPY just leaving that gap for next time. Yeah, it doesn't give a fuck about that gap, dude. I've come to realize.
Is it up that much today?
Yeah, it literally went straight up all day.
How much percent is it up?
Almost 2. 1.5.
So it retraced pretty much everything it did the other day.
It's retraced the past 3 days.
Nice.
SPY, Qs, and DIA.
Yep.
Nice.
This is what I was worried about when I took my little bearish lotto yesterday, was Dow Jones could lead the market up because Dow Jones looked really good. I don't think Dow Jones led the market here, but Dow Jones was definitely a warning sign that this was going to pump like this because it looked the best by far. Yeah, Chad, if you look at the weekly chart on ES, this gap right here is damn near the only gap throughout the entire history of ES that has not been filled yet. That's how ridiculous it is. It just will not fill that gap. It started to. Look at where ES bounced yesterday. That was the top of the gap. It literally started to fill it, and then it gave up. It's a very inefficient market that we're seeing right now.
I feel like it's still one. Did you hear me at all right there?
No, you're cutting out.
I still think it's pretty fragile. Like one bad news item.
No,
would
it's
send it
extremely,
back to the
yeah.
crap.
That's why I'm going to hold my lotto until expiration, because there could be one bad thing that comes out on the weekend and I still hit my trade. Look at Auto USDT. I'll take a look. It's pretty new, man. Not much you can say about it. Extremely new. Not a whole lot of data. It's still trying to find value. I wouldn't touch something like this. It's clearly downtrending since inception, so it's trying to find buyers. It liked this area, so if it makes its way back down there, you could probably find some buyers. But that's the only area it liked. It didn't like this because it nukes right off of it. Didn't like that. Didn't like anything over here. It's already nuking. This is the only area that it liked. Around that like 2000 area. So that's the only area that you would really be interested in buying. Are you guys into Wyckoff analysis at all? Not really. I have my own system that I kind of based off Wyckoff. I've got videos on that. But I don't do like standard Wyckoff stuff. 4-hour buy on XRT coming in, the retail ETF. Daily's still in the sell. Daily's also right below a pivot and a resistance. Yeah, I like this. If it breaks this pivot here, it's actually not a bad trade. The weekly's bouncing right off a pivot. It's got a bear div, but these typically don't play out on stuff like this. There's XLY. XLY, you'd be kind of knife catching, mainly due to the tech sell-off on Amazon and Tesla. Weekly also weekly giving a buy the dip signal. That's pretty good. Yeah, I like both of these sectors. Gonna see how they perform on Monday. I might start buying some of these. XRT, XLY. I also like Jets. Basing all of this on the new mandate from the CDC. Yeah, Jets is playing out a bulldog and a daily bull div here. This was a very clean bottom here.
Bitcoin looking kind of weak right now.
They're bots missing in action. I ban a lot of bots, so they probably dislike when I ban them. If you have a trading channel on YouTube, if you say the word Bitcoin or like anything really, like SPY, whatever, you get a bunch of spam bots in your comments, and I always ban them. Sebastian said, I feel like the SPY bounce is totally out of proportion to the volume supporting it. I agree, man. I think it's mainly just because of the CDC thing. You had a couple of earnings come out today that kind of showed that retailers were doing well. And I think tying that with the CDC announcement, that sector is leading right now. It's also a 50-day bounce, literally to the penny. So it's not like it's bouncing out of nowhere. It's bouncing off the 50-day moving average. The only problem is it's bouncing right before filling the gap. It's very strange.
Not even a wick down to fill it.
Nah, nothing. This little wick here didn't even get into the gap. ES got into the gap, SPY did not. And that's not even the only gap. We've got another gap here, another gap here. We have, let's see, gaps here, here, here. This is an extremely inefficient market. Typically, if you can backtest this, if SPY goes for all-time highs, typically it always pulls back. Look, there's even a gap there. I didn't even see that one. That one kind of got filled. But typically when it goes for all-time highs, it always finds a little bit of resistance, pulls back, fills the gaps, and then goes higher. This was right around the election, so that's kind of why that's inefficient. There's no point, or there's no reason to leave these other gaps unfilled. This was not a price gap, that was a time gap because that was a holiday. That's a holiday gap, so a little different. This was a price gap. This is a price gap. And then these are price gaps, but those are also because of the election. So just based on price, that one and this one should be filled. And then on ES, this needs to be filled 100%. Hey, Frank. I forgot to put up the Bitcoin thing. Let me grab that. Chad said, does the volume profile single printing like that increase the likelihood of filling the gap? So gaps are always going to be, they're going to look like single prints, but they're not single prints. Single prints are different than gaps. Gaps are complete gaps. There is no price action there. This should not have anything there. That's just a, TradingView doesn't show this properly. That should not have a print. So it's TradingView is showing a single print. This is not a single print. That's a gap. A single print is... let me see if I can find an example. I think we had one on Bitcoin the other day. This is a single print. When price is pushing through levels with like a candle like that, like a breakout candle, these are single prints. Like this area right here. It's when it just blows through a level, typically like liquidations or just complete strength on one side. But when TradingView shows you a single print on a gap, that's not accurate. This should not be there. Oh, actually, I see why it's there. So this is there from this candle here, not the actual gap. So if I do it this way, let me get rid of this. So actually, they are right in their data there. There you go. Actually, that's still kind of wrong. It shouldn't show anything. It shouldn't show anything. It should just be a gap. But you get what I mean. Why is it showing these? Don't I have those turned off? Oh, that's OKX. Never mind. Lumen. I haven't looked at Lumen in a while. Let's take a look. Doesn't look too bad. Nice little cup and handle here. The bot is also in a buy signal on the daily. The weekly's been in a buy since way back here around $10. The 1 hour is also in a buy. Yes, this looks really good. Not bad. I think as long as you hold above this little local high right here. What above like 14? There's basically above that gap. $14, $14.30. Looks pretty good. This would be a cup and handle. So if you wanted a cup and handle target, you would take... where's my tool? Here we go. You would take a measured move like that. That would give you about $16 would be your target. You could also take a fib, which would also give you around $16, $15.40, $15.60. The trigger for that would be breaking 1471. Here, I'll give you guys a little treat today. We'll turn off all the indicators. Because like I was telling you guys last stream, a lot of you new guys, you need to learn how to read charts without indicators. Look at how strong SPY was today. Look at this 15-minute. If you were in a long, you literally had almost no time during the day where you were in a drawdown. Doesn't matter where you bought. You had almost no drawdown the entire day. What's even funnier about this is look at this gap right here. This gap was not filled. Now we have two gaps in the same area. That's how inefficient this market is. This is an extremely inefficient market. It gapped inside of a gap. So like if we take, I don't count wicks typically when it does like this. If I'm looking at a gap, the proper thing is to count the wick, but I don't do that. But if we took this, we could say that like this little bit right here was filled and that little bit right there was filled. So we can go like this. And now that is the gap that is not filled. And then we could go like this as well. So that's the gap, right? So then we just take this and we move that to wherever it hasn't filled. So now that's the gap that has not been filled. I think that's it, locally. Actually, no, there's one more down here. See how inefficient this market is? It's ridiculous. So these are all your local gaps. Louise said, if we go down to fill the 406, 407 gap, people will start jumping out of windows. But we can make some good money. That's not a big gap, dude. That's not a big gap at all. If we go down to fill the 360 gap, then people will fucking get rugged. These gaps right here. We fill these gaps down to 330. Then you're getting rugged. That's a 20% drop. We probably will not fill these gaps. SPY testing that trend that it's been on the entire day.
I love how Bitcoin follows SPY when it goes down, but not when it goes up. Fucking scam. I don't see how Bitcoin can't pump out of this. I mean, like the candle, that doji at the bottom, bull div, auto SR. I don't see how this doesn't push back up.
No, this could be a massive bulldog for sure. Nice little double bottom.
Bulldog, yep.
I don't like
Maybe
where
it's
it's.
just waiting for the weekend.
Yeah, I don't like where it's currently failing. Like, it needs to get above, like, 52. But strong bounce on the weekend up to, like, 54. Looks really good. Yeah, Gars, that I've been noticing that too, man. A lot of stocks are doing really poorly, but the indexes are just keep going up. Because they're heavily weighted on certain companies, right? And those certain companies are not doing too bad. But I have noticed the same thing. It's not like every single stock on the stock market is doing well. Like, you would look at these indexes today and you'd be like, oh shit, the fucking every single stock must be green. That's not the case. How's the heat map look today? Let me see if I can pull it up over here. Yeah, the heat map's pretty green. Like, if we look at this.
Yeah, it's just Disney.
Yeah, Disney getting hit. Home Depot getting hit, Lowe's. Most stocks are green, though.
Oh, Home Depot's finally coming down?
Yeah, down about 1%, 0.7. But all the big names are green. That's why the indexes are doing well. The huge names are green. It's mainly the growth names, cigars, that we're used to looking at that are not doing too well. They're the big growth names. They bounce every now and then, but they're still trending downward. Yeah, Bitcoin's not doing too good here. Look at that 5-minute, just dirty downtrend. What's a bulldog? It's just a fancy name for a double bottom that has a little bull flag. Yeah, Jared, that's a good point. Most stocks are green because of the gap up, but there is not a lot of follow through on a lot of them. That's true. That is true. Some stocks, though, like the casino stocks, the airlines, the retailers, they just went straight up today. Las Vegas Sands, Caesars, Hilton. You got the retailers.
How's Wynn?
Wynn, let me see.
How's Wynn doing? Probably ripping, right?
Yeah, Wynn straight up. They're all like in a big bull flag, which I'm waiting for them to start breaking out of. They're all in a massive bull flag, pretty much. Yeah, if you look at the retailers, Nordstrom, massive day. Kohl's, massive day. They've got earnings coming up. Macy's, huge day, up 14%. American Eagle, huge day. And then look at like Jets, the airline ETF, doing well.
Maybe Bitcoin's trying to retest that 4-hour pivot, but it's going to have to pull up in the next 30 minutes. To have some buyers step in here.
It lost the 4-hour pivot already?
Yeah, it's underneath it a little bit, but
Yeah.
we got 30 minutes left.
That is true.
If it closes above, I would just say this is a retest of it.
Yeah.
Because the last 4-hour candle was strong as fuck.
JMA, you're flying out tonight?
No, I'm leaving Sunday. Sunday morning.
Crypto sessions this weekend, maybe?
Maybe Sunday night. Hold on a sec.
Hey, sir, would you happen to know what 75 East Wacker would be down here?
5 East Wacker.
Like, I'll get the 65 and the 70, and then it's.
Don't, man. Maybe the security guard might know. Let's get some guy asking me for directions.
What are you, downtown?
Yeah, I'm underground though, and it's like really hard to see the addresses down here.
Yeah.
You know, like in Batman: The Dark Knight when they're driving underground, like that's where I'm at right now.
Nice. You said on NASDAQ, if you enlarge the fractal of the .com bubble near the top on the daily candles and compare it to what we have now, it's like the same thing. The .com bubble, you say? Couldn't paste. What? This thing's dog shit. Alright, let's restart. Alright, let's do this the hard way. Alright, we're going to tie the bottoms together. I'm going to try to fit these as best I can. It's about the best I can do to fit it. Because the volatility, maybe logarithmic? No, it's not going to work. The volatility on the .com bubble is just unheard of. So fitting these is very hard. I do see the pattern you're talking about, though. It's actually kind of scary how well that works for the first year. It's identical. You kind of lose your touch up here. So like here, let me do it this way. We'll compare it easily instead of trying to make it the exact pattern. They're almost the same length too. That's what's scary about it. In bars, but not exactly. But alright, so we have the push up, the initial sell off, which is right there. Recovery, double top. This one double topped, this one put in a lower high. Pull back off the double top. Then you went for a long run into all-time highs. Then you had a pullback. Same thing here. See, this is where it gets hard. Because you can say this is the pullback, this is the pullback. Double top. Or like blow off top. Then a sell-off. But then this one goes again, so it's kind of hard. You could also say this is one move, correction, blow off, and then downtrend. That's probably the best you can compare the fractal. This would be 1. That would be 2. That would be 5, 6. This would be 7, and then this would be 8. So if you compare the fractals, you think that this down move is not going to recover, and this leads into a further collapse. But if I go back to, let's actually take this a little bit further. Yeah, that just completely collapses. If we look at the .com, completely collapses, tries to recover, doesn't make it. Maybe a 618 retracement. Yep, 618, look at that. 618 to the T, and then nukes. So for these to match, you would have to assume this would not recover more than 618. So you would be assuming that the 13621 level is the top. It's not a bad analysis, but the problem is you're comparing it to a time that it was, I guess I was going to say you're comparing it to a time that was extremely unique, but so is right now. These trends on Bitcoin and Spire are inverse. You have a complete downtrend on the 5-minute since around like the open of SPY, and it has not broken that downtrend. And then if we go to SPY, you're in a complete uptrend that you just finally broke. The entire day you were in an uptrend. So they're kind of inverse. Hey, Bernsey. You guys like my Doge call out yesterday on stream? What did I tell you Elon would say? He pulled all that Bitcoin bullshit just so he could say that he's working with Doge. It's actually ridiculous how much we allow that guy to manipulate the markets, and I like Elon. But he is definitely a market manipulator. Make sure to do your taxes, guys. They're due on Monday. They gave us a little bit of an extension, and that's it. If you want to file for an extension, you better do it now. I'm actually kind of pissed because I called my tax guy and I was like, "What's up, dude? You haven't called me and told me they were done." And they said they might not have them finished by the due date. He's gonna have to file an extension. Kind of pissed me off. I gave them to him like maybe almost 2 months. 2 months ago, month and a half. For people like me who owe taxes too, it fucking sucks too, because you got to pay interest if they're not done on time. How many of you guys in stream, do you guys use TurboTax, like a tax program, or do you use a tax person? Spy actually selling off a little bit here. Look at how ridiculous Spy is being. It's avoiding the gaps. It's doing the exact opposite of what it typically does. Typically, it wants to fill the gaps. Right now, it's using the gap levels as extremely strong support and resistance. It's really weird to watch. You use TurboTax. A couple of you guys use People. I've actually always done my own taxes. This was the first year that I was like, fuck it. I don't want to do my own taxes. Like, I'm going to get a person. Like an actual CPA. Well, I typically had someone in my family do them, but I used to help them out. But this year, I'm just looking at, here's some paperwork, do it for me. And I'm actually wondering, do they save you a lot of money? Like, how good are these programs nowadays? Have you guys who used People ever compared it? Like, have you ever done the taxes yourself and then gave it to the CPA and compared the difference? Because you got to think about, for like retail guys, like little guys like us, right? Not like fucking people who are filthy rich. Like people who make less than, shit, I'd say less than $200,000 a year, maybe. Less than 300,000, somewhere around there. Most of those people are probably doing their own taxes. If I had to guess. They're doing their taxes on TurboTax, or they have somebody in their family doing their taxes on a program. And these programs, you'd assume they're pretty good, because they wouldn't have a business if they weren't good. You know what I mean? Luis said they have to know the recent laws, like the new bills passed due to the COVID stimulus. That's a good point. Drew said, I think you have to have a lot going on financially to make a CPA worthwhile. That's kind of what I mean. That's kind of what I mean. Like anybody less than like 200, like if you're making like less than $200,000 a year, you're just making like standard income. There's nothing fancy that you're doing. You don't really need you don't need a tax person. But if you have multiple streams of income, if you have a business of your own, if you're a trader, I think you definitely benefit from a tax person. But we'll see, man. I did my own taxes. I put them in the program. I saw what I was gonna owe, and then I gave it to the tax guy. So we'll see if he does better. I'm gonna be pretty pissed if he doesn't do better, because it's like I'm paying you to save me money. The main reason I wanted to go to a tax guy this year is because I typically only trade on like one broker for the most part. And I didn't have like the Discord and a bunch of other streams of income coming in. And this year, well, technically 2020, I had like 6 different brokers that I was trading with. And you have all the COVID shit going on. He's going to know a bunch of fancy things that he can do for COVID to save me money. So let's hope. If your CPA saves you too much, who's held liable for the money owed? I'm not sure what you mean. If your CPA is saving you a bunch of money, hopefully they're doing it in a legal way. I think that's what you're asking. Like if they do something illegal, is what you mean? Like if they do something illegal to save you money? I'd assume they'd be liable, but I'm not sure. Here's the retest of the SPY downtrend. If you guys are wondering why we're talking about taxes, it's because today's extremely slow. It's a slow day. A lot of volume coming in here on this little dip here on SPY. Yeah, just make sure you guys do your taxes by Monday. If you're a quarterly person, the quarterly due date's coming up too, I believe. It's pretty funny. We've seen this quite often where SPY is like trending in one direction, but then it completely changes direction right before the close. Then we see a gap in the initial direction. We've seen that a lot during the whole COVID madness. Just remember that pattern. We kind of got faked out by that ourselves. I'm taking a lotto 412. I'm selling calls here. So we want it to be below 412 on Monday, which is still very likely. Well, not very likely, but very possible. Yeah, when you do something like this, like run up and then just starts nuking out of nowhere right before the close, very likely going to gap up the next day. And vice versa. If you start going down and then you like pump randomly, likely to gap down. Got about 10 minutes left on SPY and equities. See if it can fill this upper gap.
Adrian,
What's up?
can you look at H bar?
Yeah, that new coin that's pumping. Oh, it was pumping. Jesus, got murdered. Looks like it's putting in a massive bulldog. Like if it hangs out here around like the 30 cent range, 34 cent range, this could be like a little pullback, and then you rip off the pullback maybe. It's pretty new though. Not like the 4 hour looks like a bulldog. Like the 4 hour is pretty clean.
Herp is new. I think the crypto hasn't been that new.
Gotcha. Where is it charted besides? Oh, it's on Binance.
So
Oh yeah, the
My-
USDT is not too bad.
So my issue with this coin is the reason I believe that it pumped so crazily yesterday was because of the Elon tweet about being green and efficient, and H bar pumped up. A few other people pumped it up because it has a very low energy cost per transaction. I don't know if that makes this a
I don't think any
Like-
coins that pumped on that stupid tweet are going to continue.
yeah. That's what I was wondering.
Yeah. No, I don't. That tweet is fucking pointless. It's literally just manipulation. That tweet has no power over the crypto market, like in the mid to long term. Completely pointless. So no, I think any coin that's following that tweet, I would not touch. Now, if this coin held around like 30 cents, like I was saying, I think it would be like a bulldog, and it could go higher. That's about it. You're in like a massive choppy range. If you look at the USDT pair, you can see the range that we're in. I posted a chart. You don't have that on the perp pair. But like buying the lows of the range around like 28, that's not too bad of an idea. Goes back there. Maybe wait for a little extension like it did before. Got a couple minutes left on equities. Did BNB recover? What's BNB currently at? 600. It's not too bad. How's FTT doing? BNB bounced off the 618 perfectly. FTT still hovering right on that uptrend. Nasty daily candle so far, though. We got 4 hours left. Doesn't look too good, though. Remember what I said. Something that trends in one direction, then just nukes randomly at the close. Typically gaps in the original direction. So this thing just completely falls off a cliff here. Could gap on Monday. Now, that's a lot easier when it's not a weekend. Like if it was a Thursday to a Friday, that'd be a lot easier to say. But still the same idea. I'd be pretty shocked if we gapped up again. We've already gapped up 2 days in a row. And we have not filled either one of those gaps. This gap isn't even accurate. I gotta fix these for the lower time frame. If you want to find the most accurate gaps, you have to do them on 1 minute charts. So like if we wanted the real gap here, we would delete this. It's kind of stupid you have to do this, but that's how it works. This is the real 1 minute gap here from close to open. You can see how ridiculously big that gap is. And then where's that other one? And then we have this one here. That one's been filled partially though. Little trick you can do in TradingView if you don't want to extend it, you can just go to the second one and extend it manually. You see how those gaps overlap? You see how the box gets darker there? That's because the gaps are overlapping. So that's like a very strong inefficiency right there. What is it about the weekend that makes a gap up less likely? Because it's going to open up on Sunday, and it's going to have that time on Sunday to correct it, which every other day would. But typically the Sunday price action is a lot stronger than the overnight price action on a regular weekly day, because the market has been closed for longer. Does that make sense? So like, the overnight price action from a Monday to a Tuesday is not typically as strong as the overnight price action from a Sunday. Yeah, sometimes more volume, sometimes just a wider range as well. But alright guys, it's a Friday. I'm not going to hold you guys any longer. I will have the weekly watch list coming out on Sunday. Probably around 4 or 5 p.m. Eastern, so be on the lookout for that. I hope to have some more backtests. I was supposed to have a bunch of backtests done this week, but I've been extremely busy. Hope to have some more backtests this weekend. If nothing comes up, I should have some free time. So be on the lookout on the bot channel. I should have at least a couple more done. I've been running into a bunch of shit lately. But yeah, watch out for that. And then we will be streaming on Monday, 3 p.m. Eastern, same time as always. And if you guys are new here, I do stream 5 days a week, Monday to Friday, 3 p.m. Eastern every single day. All right. So make sure to subscribe on YouTube. Follow me on Twitch and Twitter. I will probably be posting some charts and stuff on Twitter this weekend as well. So if you guys miss the streams, obviously, I don't stream on the weekend. I do post some charts every now and then on my Twitter, so make sure to follow that. But all right, guys, watch out for the watch list, like I said, on Sunday, and then I'll see you guys on Monday. Peace.